During a press briefing on the migrant arrivals to her city, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot criticized what she called a stunt by Texas Governor Greg Abbott in sending border crossers by bus to her city. In her litany of objections to the Texas Republicans' decision to send migrants to her city, Lightfoot condemned the use of buses. She cited the unhappy experience she had riding Greyhound buses as a college student in her remarks. Abbott sent about 75 illegal border crossers to the Windy City, a move Lightfoot called racist, xenophobic, and unpatriotic. Abbott and his fellow Republicans see the move as just desserts to liberal politicians, who they say have promoted lax border enforcement and support sanctuary city policies.
Let me just play devil's advocate a little bit with that in mind. Mm-hmm. Texas, obviously, if none of these migrants were sent anywhere else, would have to bear all the brunt of this themselves. Aren't these migrants better off going to places like Chicago, welcoming cities to get cared for?
Well, I think Alderman Raboyos kind of alluded to this. I'm happy to take and drain Texas of all of its residents. I wouldn't want to live in a state with a governor like that. I certainly wouldn't want to live in a state where they are doing everything they can to strip people of their basic rights. And let's not forget about what they've done to women and others who are seeking reproductive health care. So we welcome Texans to Chicago, and we'll rent the buses next time to bring them here. But I also think that the way in which this is done is just not right. It fundamentally isn't right. As a kid who didn't have a lot of money back in the day, and getting on Greyhound buses to travel from Chicago to my home in Ohio when I was in school here, riding on a bus for any length of time is a tough experience. But then you add to that the journey that they already had, the fact that they're in a country that's not their home country, that they're being forced to get on these buses and leave without any regard for their rights, their choice. It is not a good or patriotic thing to be doing this. Certainly, I understand the concern of Texans being situated as they are at the border. Same thing with Arizona and other states. But there's a right and a wrong way to do everything. And what Governor Abbott is doing is precisely the wrong way. We could coordinate, and we've done that before. We've welcomed people from all across the Central and South America. But then you have to do it in a way that respects their rights, with integrity and with leadership and partnership and collaboration. That's not what he's doing.
Can I just follow up on that?
Yeah, sure.
It sounds like this would work well to reach out to Abbott and say, hey, if you have some more people that you want to get rid of, can we coordinate to do it in a better way?
Well, I suppose that would work in theory, but that's not the point, right? That's not his point. His point is to try to humiliate the president, to humiliate Democratic cities led by Democratic mayors. His point is not to do the right thing in any shape or fashion. If he really wanted to do the right thing, there's many different avenues in which he could access information and access cities and states. Right? He's a part of the National Governors Association, as is our governor, as is the governor of New York, as is others. But he's choosing not to do that because this is about a cheap political point. It has nothing to do with sharing the load. That's not what this is about. And I don't want anybody to mistake his actions as being anything other than what they are, which is inhumane, unpatriotic, and a cheap political stunt.